Hello and welcome to the Treble in Trafford. This really sucks, right? I mean, United are what, 14th, one position above last year, and the derby game. Yeah, that still hurts. Um, it's a really sucky situation. It feels like we haven't improved. It feels like we're back to square one, even though we had such a great summer. We added some great players like Bumo, we added Cunha, and we added Sheshko. We also added a keeper. Got no idea if he's any good or not. Fingers crossed. But I'm still optimistic. Sucky as it has been, I am optimistic because, I mean, a lot of teams around us are still losing points. I feel like we've made progress. Our attack does look deadly. When we break well. I do feel like we have some pretty good patterns going on. And lastly, this season is young. We've 4 games in. Between second place and us is like a 5 point difference. That's 2 games. I'm not overly confident with Liverpool. I think they're much higher than they should be. I could see them dropping. Arsenal do look solid, but I don't know. I'm not completely convinced just yet. I think there's a lot of twists and turns left for this season. And I think we should just wait and see. I feel the team with the most patience will eventually become the most consistent towards the end. A lot of teams are in Europe this year, and with injuries, you can see even City, such a massive team, and they get one injury to Rodri, and they're done. You can also see that, okay, maybe not Chelsea. Chelsea have like 33 players that they can rely on. Like, I guess they'll be fine. But I'm still optimistic. I think we've got a long season to go. And I think it now boils down to, are you Amorim in or are you Amorim out? I'm in. I think you can take the positive tone that I have, that I still have faith in the manager. I don't think he's completely blameless or faultless. Um, I just don't really see how things would improve if we were to change managers. Everyone keeps going on about the system, the system, the system, the system. Okay, cool. So we had Eric Ten Hag. He played a 4-2-3-1, what everyone wants Amorim to play right now. They think that's stable and that will give the team the best opportunity to win. Guess what? We tried that and we lost really bad. The midfield had so many holes, and teams would go from back to front like we didn't exist. We were terrible. That's a different system. That's the 4-2-3-1. And then we've also had other systems like Jose Mourinho. He also had a 4-2-3-1. We did do well for good periods, and then shit went bad. Similar players. A lot of the players that he inherited then went on to Ole. Ole, same thing, new system. I actually give credit to Ole and McKenna and Carrick. I actually do think they had a system on how they wanted to play, even though people kept whining of how he doesn't have a system. Again, same thing, right? We had our highs and then we had our lows. And again, same narrative, same players, down tools. Why? Why does this keep happening? Why is it that when the going gets tough, the players can't hack it? What's with the mentality that we're not able to break? We've got players on some of the biggest contracts in the league, and it just feels like when things are tough, they look for any excuse for the manager to change, and then it might get better for a brief period, and then we're back to square one. I don't want that to happen. I back every manager, and the reason I back them is I want to see their vision through. I want to see Ruben's vision through. I don't think there's anything wrong with his system. We have players in his team right now that have failed more managers than Ruben has failed teams. So why should we trust the players and not trust the manager? That's my biggest defense of Ruben right now. Again, I don't think he's faultless. I think he should be questioned with some of the players that he keeps picking. I'm a big Bruno Fernandes fan. He is my favorite player at United right now. But even I can see he's making mistakes. But he doesn't get the criticism players like Mainu do. Um, why? And then we also have seen Shaw put in some good performances, but then we saw what is evident with Shaw is when he has a clanger, he has a massive clanger. Ugarte actually had a good game against City, but this season I have really questioned why he's anywhere near the team. I know he's got the physicality, I know he can run, but the dude has like just total mental lapses, and I'm like, why are you doing this? Ruben needs to change the players. I don't think he needs to change his system. The system can work. How do I know it can work? United have one of the best offenses statistically in the league, and I think we're only second to City, and that's because City put like 3 past us. United have a solid foundation, and having the 3 at the back does give a good base. Where our biggest issue is where I think a lot of people had pointed out in the summer, is the midfield. You can get away with Casemiro, but you would probably need to pair him with someone who's going to track, and I don't think Bruno is that. Bruno is such a mercurial talent in the final third, but even though he thinks he can play that central midfield role, I don't think he can. Not yet, anyways, unless he changes the person that he is and he puts in the effort of tracking back and not losing your marker. That is a intelligence that he might not have yet. Can he develop it? Why not? He is such a brilliant player. I want to believe that he can. But it is something that you constantly have to be switched on for. He hasn't shown that he can do that. So if I'm criticizing Amorim, it is purely on the basis that he has the ability to control the team and who he picks. If he keeps picking players that don't do what they're told, that's on you. And if you keep making the same mistakes, you will get fired. Not that I want you to get fired, but that's what's going to happen. So, Ruben, through his interviews, has always said he's not changing the system. Cool, don't change the system. And when people press him on why you're so married to the formation, he always responds with, I want my players to know this well or perfect, that they can do it in their sleep. Then I can start tweaking. This is his base. This is not where he wants to be, but this is where he feels if he's able to get the players doing it like they mean it and they're following instructions to the T, that he can then evolve the team to be better, to try new things, because he can trust them. It's about trust. It's about, can you do the system the right way in its base form that I can then change things. So that's why I do believe that it can work. He needs to make changes though. So against Chelsea, I would do this personally. I would keep Diallo at right wing back. I think that's where he is meant to play. So let's keep playing him there. I understood why he played Mazraoui. The thing with Mazraoui is he's slow and he wasn't giving much help with Mbeumo. So play Diallo. Let's play our attack like it's meant to work. Hopefully the defense won't make as many fuck ups. So Diallo, and I would probably put Mazraoui instead of Shaw. I know he wants a left footer on the left. Mazraoui, De Ligt, and Euro. I think that's a solid base. And then you got Dorgu, obviously. That guy, I know he's getting criticism from the City game, but I thought he actually is a great player throughout the season, and we need to stick with him. He is our best athlete. And then in the midfield, I would go Ugarte and Casemiro. We actually did play Ugarte and Casemiro last season, and it did feel like United had their most stable games during those periods, and it does make sense why it works. Casemiro is very intelligent, and he can ping passes. He can also stay back when needed, and Ugarte is the presser, the initiator, and I also can trust that he will keep track of his players. And then in the front, I would play Sesko, Mbeumo, and Bruno on the left if Cunha isn't fit. So, 2 things here. If Cunha is fit, should they play him? I don't think so. The hamstring injuries do scare me. I would get him off the bench. It would allow us to keep Bruno on the field. It would reduce the amount of talking points that people will have. But if Cunha is completely fit, yeah, I, I think he might have to bench Bruno. Bench Bruno and Mainu. I know people won't like that. They want us to play Mainu, and I love Mainu. I want to see him play, but to go for the win, I think I'd play Casemiro and Ugarte. And going back to my point of why the system should be given a pure and honest shot is we make so many mistakes. If we can cut out these mistakes. So United are number one in the amount of goals that directly resulted from errors. We have 3 conceded goals. And that's not including any of the times we've missed our mark. We're not marking someone and we miss them. They score a goal. We don't track our runner. They score a goal. So that's not including those errors. If we have a system, any system, if you create errors that lead to 3 goals and you're also not following the system properly, how is any system going to work? It doesn't make sense. So we have to go back to the fundamentals, figure out who is causing those issues. We've got to bench them, even if that means benching your captain. And then we have to also finish our chances. I don't understand how we generate so many chances, but when we come in front of goal, we're brain dead. Like, we don't do anything. How is this possible? Come on, guys. Get your shooting boots. Get some goals. Getting the first goal or even getting 2-goal lead would relieve so much stress upon your defense that a lot of times those mistakes won't happen. So when Ruben says we win together, we lose together, yeah, because the strikers need to put their dang goals in the goal, right? I don't know. This has been kind of a ramble, and I apologize for that. But there are a lot of emotions, and I'm going to figure out how to structure this a bit better next time. Thank you. Have a good day, and catch you in the next one.